Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another weekend webinar session. Holiday weekend, Thanksgiving. Hope you're all doing well. Enjoy the time with the family and setting up for the coming week. All right, going to get right into it over here. Give me a sec. Here we go. So, starting with the ES at the top, we can see that we've got a really ugly, whoa. Failed hammer candle situation after the twins on the weekly chart. We take out the lows, and all roads are pointing down. So looks like Santa's going to be a little late this year with the rally, if it's coming at all. We've already traveled into negative territory now for the yearly chart. Let's go back and take a look where we are. Where's January? Okay, that's November, right? So we got October, 2, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think this is the January candle over here. Yeah, it is. So we started the year out up here. And you can see we're actually down. First time for quite some time that we're looking at a down year for the equities. And, we don't know if it's going to close down there, but it's getting close to the end of the year. And the chart is actually looking really, really bearish. Pretty ugly over here. After the bounce up, we weren't able to capture that level that I was talking about in last week's webinar, and the collapse is on. If you ask me, looks like these charts are pointing to New Year 2450 before New Year. So let's click over here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and show you what I'm looking at. If we just look at the last sell-off. Okay, so these are the early lows for the year, right? We had that early sell-off last year back here. You can see where we are. We're dancing on this trend line. We've now tested on the other side. Bang, 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 bang. And what's here was not fresh demand. This was just, some levels back here of 25.50. I think we see that really early this week. The fresh demand, I'm looking at it over here. Okay, there's a gap down here. It's around 2,500. There's some fresh demand, and then right under it, there's this little gap area over here around 2450. When we do the little fib extensions on the sell-off that we had over here, let's just zoom out and show you what I'm looking at. Come on, let's go back. There we go. Nope. How's that? There we go. Okay. So if the last sell-off is here, we're taking first sell-off here. How big is it going to be? So we started the sell-off over here already, right? You could say 61.8 would bring us into this demand zone. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for starting this downtrend, which looks starting over here. We're looking for at least 100% extension. Okay, so let's just scroll up now and see what we're looking at over here. The 61.8 puts us in there. The 100% fib extension puts us right around this 2,500 number. Look at this number right here, 2476. Okay, and there's a gap right around 2450, which means we're going to actually take out all this crap back here. That looks really horrible. So that would be the projection of what we're looking for. We'll take out all those lows, and if we do it early enough, meaning this week, we still have all of December to try to mount the rally back and try to at least get back to break even for the year or something like that. We could be helped along if the Fed decides to not raise interest rates in December, and Trump could maybe make a deal with China, something like that, and that would absolutely get the market moving. go. Let's take a look on some of the other time frames, see where the supply and demand is, where can we join these trades to the downside. So, yeah, that looks like a really nice supply. Doubt we're going to see that level at 2,700 and change. You can see there's nothing over here on the 240 that's holding up this chart, okay? There is total air. Look where we are, nothing. Okay, so we're going to hit 2,600. And, you know, underneath here, 2,600 to 25, whatever, there is a little bit of demand in the smaller time frames. So we might get a little bounce out of that, and then maybe an opportunity to join some shorts on new levels that will be formed over here, because this will become a drop-based drop. There might be, you know, some supply over here that we can look at later on. So for now, there's nowhere to enter this place unless you were in it from last week to get into it over here on this particular chart. Not yet. Okay, so let's keep looking. Here's our 60 chart. There's a level. If we can get there again, it's right around 2680 something, so it's pretty far away. Okay, on the 60 chart, we got some supply over here that's fresh. If we should shoot up into there, you know, it looks like over the holiday weekend, trading was obviously dismal. It should be, but it did break down, you know. So maybe we get a back test on a smaller time frame. Maybe there's something over here. Let's see. There's a level over there someplace that we can look at to join these shorts. And again, the target's under 2,600. Yeah, so there's a 15 zone there. Looks like it just got maybe touched on a little bit, maybe not. A couple of levels here. So there's one here that if we just shoot into that, that would be interesting to look at, or this over here, right? And that's the 2,700 or 2,680, whatever that is. So those are the possibilities for joining shorts, and we're looking for, I would say 2550 with the outside chance of 2450 getting hit this week. All right, that's our ES charts. Let's go take a look at what the NASDAQ's looking like. Okay, so taking a look at the NASDAQ. Let's take a weekly chart for a sec, pick it up, pick it out. And you can see that we actually did make a new low back here on the weekly chart. So we have base drop coming on over here. The zone that is here caused this highs almost wiped out totally. Looks to me like the next zone, 6,000. Okay, and you know, on the way down, there's a couple of wicks, but that's nothing on a weekly chart. I mean, we're looking at. Look at the zones under here. Look like, I would say 6,000 is the number that I'm looking for NASDAQ. So another 500 points down before we can start really potentially putting in a decent bounce. Makes sense. It's the 100 fib extension again is putting us right around the 6,000 number, and a little bit higher, but a little air down here. Right? Looking at our daily chart, sell off, bounce. This is already the downtrend, the lower high, lower low situation, coming into this garbage back over here. So there's pretty much air until we get to around, let's call it 63 and change. And then we should be picking out that level based on the higher, lower highs we have coming into the zone. Look here. And this is the fib extension puts us at 61 and change. Basically, this demand zone, we might get a little bounce a little bit over there, but at the end of the day, the fresh demand, 6,000. That's where it's at. So that would be my target for the short side for the next potential bounce that we're looking at over here. Which means we'd like to join shorts if we're not already short. Taking a look at the WOO 240 chart, we have a nice supply zone up here at 6,700 again. Waiting for this one to make a new low. It hasn't done that just yet, but it does make a lower high over here. And again, this is some holiday trading. We're not sure what this really means yet anyway. So maybe on a small time frame, we could find the chance to get in. The trend is absolutely down, no question about that. Look how close, by the way, on the daily that the moving averages are getting really close together. I mean, it's likely going to cross in the next couple of days over here, it looks like. So it's coming. You'll hear it all over the place the minute it does. Everybody's going to start talking about it. It's been a few years since they've touched each other. Those trend lines we talked about last time, the moving averages we talked about last week. All right, so the 60 flopped around over the last couple of days. Not really anything fresh. If we get a test, a rocket ship right into this level, 6,700, that's a no-brainer. We'll take shorts there. Over here, looks like a decent shot as well. It's touched already once, but got the trend line there, and it's got Nice look at supply. So again, air underneath here. So that's just a given. We're going to break down. It looks like over here. Really ugly chart. All right. Looking for the shorts. On our 15, nothing really great. Zoom out a little bit. That's the same level as the 15. On 60, I'm sorry, up here. So again, yeah, 6,700. There's something around 66, 30, whatever this level is over here. And the target at this point, 6,000. Looking ugly. Okay, moving on. Okay, so crude has been just brutal lately. Massive sell-off again, week number 7 in a row, straight down. In an uptrend into fresh demand again. We've crossed 200 moving averages. We got really close to $50 on, I don't know, Thanksgiving Day. Or Friday, actually, maybe it was. Maybe Friday after Thanksgiving. Really ridiculous move, yeah. Right. So, at this point, the bounce is coming. I've been talking about it for 2 weeks, but it hasn't started yet. So we have tested 50, which is what we were looking for. Is it going to break under 50? I think so. Just to scare the crap out of everybody. And then we're going to get a really strong bounce, really, really strong bounce. There's just so much shorts going on over here. There's going to be a squeeze. I wouldn't be surprised if we have like a $10 up day in crude at this point after this crazy, crazy sell-off. So looking for that bounce to start at some point this week. You can see we're getting real close to the bottom of this weekly demand zone over here, about at 49 and change. We landed in some, demand on the daily, on the 240, or in the weekly demand. So it's about almost there. I think maybe we touch maybe this trend line over here. A little test over here for the monthly. After this big pushback, and then we rock it out of that thing. We're going to get a back test. At this point. I don't know. I think we really should back it all the way to 70, but I don't know if we're going to have such that kind of crazy strong rally. So I would say for now, probably around 56, 57, something like that. Like a really strong move out here for the coming week. Doubt we close red again this coming week. It's really just too much at this point. But again, we cannot start any longs until we see bottoms. This point we still have to short the supply until we start to see rallies. Maybe some uptrends on some smaller time frames, which are non-existent currently. Everything is in a downtrend. Looks like over here, this is a good place to join, 52. If we rally up into that, again, we're looking for a little bit under 50. And once the bottom starts forming, and I'll start talking about the longs at some point this week. Send you a tweet, I guess, when it starts to, to bottom out. But for now, just shorting supply. Supply is really clear where their levels are. Here they are, and any moves into those zones are shortable. Okay, that's what we're looking for crude. If you're already short, I would hold on until we just break under 50, and when we break under 50, close it. All right, take the profits and walk away. You'll get a better short, higher up again after that. Okay, so looking for a bounce to start at some point. When, don't know yet. Trade for now, short until we get to short higher up, not from where we are. Okay, those are the levels. Let's move on. Next, the dollar has a really nice move at the end of the week over here. It tests the 200 average on the weekly chart. It holds Prince Twins. Really nice move over here. You can see that we create a little higher low after we had this little sell-off off the highs. Right, in an uptrend, so this is rocket ship territory at this point. Okay, I'm seeing an inverted head and shoulders over here on the 240 chart. Okay, and we're up over here. This is going to get popped, which means this level's going to go. We got new highs coming for the dollar, which means what it means for all the other currencies. Okay, so dollar strength. It looks like we're getting close to this target we put out here on the monthly chart. I don't know, a year ago, something like that, maybe more. It was more than a year ago. And we're getting there. So it looks like it's coming pretty soon. And for now, keep in mind what that does to the rest of your currency positions. Okay, so you better not be long any of those other currencies against the dollar. Okay, let's keep looking. See what else is going on. Okay, so on the weekly chart for gold, a little pausing candle. And then we had a nice looking rally previous week, and
What bothers me here is we were unable yet to recapture the 200 moving average on the weekly chart. We didn't even touch it. We just sold off, rallied, and then we just paused out. Shouldn't have done that. Should have at least attempt to get up there. If it doesn't recapture this moving average this week, we're in big trouble for gold over here because we're looking at a potential for a lower high on the the daily chart. We're in this little supply zone and we're flagging around over here. If this breaks down, well, that's a big problem. That means we're going underneath this pivot over here. So gold really better get moving over here. I think at this point, it's not allowed to cross 1211 anymore. If it goes under 1211, it's very, very likely that we take out this level under here, especially with the dollar strength that we're looking at. Gold really needs to move now. It has to get out of this zone. So above, the highs of this coming week, last week, we'll be okay. It gets us into this area, and it keeps our target on track, at least for now, 1250. That's what we're looking for. And the asterisk on that is that it has to break through this level now, the next Monday, Tuesday, and just hang around a little longer and then rally. It's not allowed to break under 1211 anymore. That's it. Okay, if it does, then the longs I think are dead for a little bit. You can see what we're looking at over here, right? You see this little breakdown underneath over here, and then all this air. It puts us back to where we started from, and this becomes this lower high on the daily chart, this level up here. This thing, okay? This is going to become a lower high on the daily chart, so very bad. Not allowed to go back here anymore. I'd like to see it, wants to back test a little bit, maybe just this thing over here. That's about it, okay? These prior highs back here, you want to touch those, I can live with that. Anything under there becomes a really dangerous situation for gold, okay? So I'm keeping our eye very carefully on our long position, which I'm still in over here. And if it starts to break under here, I'm out. That's it. Okay. Let's take a look at the 15. New little supply zone that was formed over there. Okay, this level, as long as this holds, that's great. No problem over here. A little pullback and rally out of that. That's fine. If it turns around and breaks down again under here, we start going over here. Gold is in not the greatest looking spot right now for the longs. Okay, still not bad. It's just that it has the potential to break down hard, which we don't want to see on our chart when we're long. So keep in mind that that's the level that has to hold for us. Okay, so we want to get above the moving average this week, which is around 1235-ish. Okay, we're going to get up here into this zone on the daily chart. Okay, so we're looking for gold. Okay, taking a look at the euro over here, and we can see that we did get a rejection candle over here on the weekly chart down here. Take a look. After we made the new low last week, we tried to rally up, and we ended up with lower highs again, and a big rejection pointing totally down. Take a look over here on the monthly chart. We're underneath the demand zone already. We've got air. Over here on the daily chart, we hit the supply. We do a drop. Base drop so far into the air again. Again, there's this little level over here around 13 that maybe give a little pause again, but at this point, we already have lower highs in front of that. There's just about a no. It's almost a given that we're breaking the bottom over here at this point. That's what we're looking for at this point. I would say 12, potentially even 11.5 for the euro. And 12, it looks like it's on the way already. Let's just build this up for a second. Take a look at the higher time frame first. I want to see the demand zone that we've got sitting underneath us. Yeah, so that's pretty much where we're going. It looks to me right between 12 and 11 to somewhere into this zone, wherever the demand is sitting. And we, outside touched the doji so far over here, and we've pushed up a little. We got lower highs. We're retracing that, and it's just no way we're holding this at this point. Looking at a downtrend, lower highs, lower lows coming, and there's potential outside chance we even hit the gap down here at this point. Maybe not this week, but the week after or something like that. Again, depends what happens with the Fed and the dollar. So there we go. Looking like the euro's got a 12 print coming, at least 12, if not even less. Okay, so shorts all the way. If you're short, stay short. Looking like this is the only level that might give a little pause over here. This is going to create new supply, so that would actually give you a new entry somewhere over here. And when this breaks down into this zone, you're going to get a drop-based drop. There'll be supply over here. excuse me. There's our 60 chart. So wow, it looks really nice. Looks like this was a winner big time. Hope some of you traded that zone. And we're sitting breakdown, breakdown, breakdown. We have a little demand, chop, chop, chop. We have supply in front of us. That levels is not holding. And then we get back into the higher time frame demand I already showed you, and blah, blah, blah. Bottom line is we should be under 12 at some point this week for the euro. Okay, that looks real nice. Awesome. So the Aussie dollar prints twins over here on the weekly chart, back over here, and back testing this little trend line back underneath over there. After we have this one bounce off in this downtrend, we break the trend line and then back test a pair of twins. So if the rally is going to start, this is where it starts from. And if it doesn't, we're going to just break the bottom again. Okay, so you can see what happened over here in the daily. We actually flipped the trend. Went to an uptrend, we pulled back into some demand, and we're holding, you can see we're holding the demand zone right here on the 240. This is already a higher low. This potentially could be another higher low. We need to break this downtrend line right here. So this needs to shoot out of here for it to continue its rally, which is basically this move we're looking for, back to 74, what is that, 74 or 80 or so, back up there. And if it doesn't happen, we'll just collapse and break the bottom. We take this pivot out, right? And then there's no more demand over here, so new lows coming. So right now it's a sort of hold, wait, and see type of thing. I don't see a great move, an entry in either direction yet for the Aussie dollar. Take a look here on the 60 chart. The demand is right underneath us. It's basically the level that we need to hold. There's supply up above. And you can see we're sort of hanging around in the middle, not loving the situation for Aussie dollar at all over here. No trade. Okay. All right, let's look at the pounds. Okay, so the pounds put in another weak showing this week. No pun intended. But still having trouble with the highs over here, making lower highs every time. And it looks like this low down here is gone. It's going to break this week. You can see over here the downtrend still working on the daily chart. Okay, and we're just pounding over here. This is only a matter of time till we break under here. It looks like we attempted a rally with a higher low over here that got rejected. You could see that. There was some economic news. I think it was on, I think it was Thursday. I'm not sure. I forgot. Just dribbles back with another lower high back to the zone. That should break, and once we get under there, it's 125 and change. Looks like the next demand zone for the pound. So we're talking about another 200 so down. Actually more, close to 28 over here. So about 300 down for the pound. It looks like. Yeah, we're looking at this demand zone under here is the next level for the pound of 125. This little drop base is going to drop. And somewhere down here is where it's going. New lows coming out over here for the pound. So if you're short, stay short. And if you're not short, let's go find a way to get short if there's somewhere to get in. Let's go take a look-see. So there's a 60 supply. Looks okay for now. This was a news event over here, so we can discount that. And this whole little mess over here of this 2-hour situation. There's supply over here. It's basically this zone. All right, if we take off the news candle, it's the same level. And we're looking at, these lows back over here, just rallying back to the supply zone and then breaking down. So that's decent. If we get into that zone, it's something you want to look at. Let's take a look over here on the 15. Excuse me. All right, so there's decent supply up here. There's a nice little failed hammer over here where the prior lows were sitting. That looks okay also. And again, we're just traveling down through the air. You can see this. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to break under here. And that puts us into that 125 on the next target for pounds. So short it is. Okay, let's go look at Canadian. All right, let's start with the Canadian on the weekly chart. We can see from a bigger time frame perspective, we still have these lows going on. Over here, there's a higher, lower highs. And we get a pair of twins over here on the weekly chart, washing out some demand underneath there, rallying up, getting rejected. What does that tell you? It means we're going to break down again. Okay, fresh demand on the Canadian. That's where it's trying to get to. So when we're going down to the lower time frames, we'll see that I think that this move down into this level has already started. It's time to get short. Canadian target is, 74 and change, somewhere in the middle of this zone. And we'll get a pretty good bounce out of that sucker. Right now, we've been working off this doji so far. I think this thing for, whatever it is, 6 months or so. About to give way and hit the fresh demand. We should get a nice bounce out of that. So for now, short into 74 and change. Okay, let's go see what that looks like on our other time frame charts. Oh boy. So we did have some news, I think, on Friday for Canadians, and we put on this little engulfing type of hammer situation. I think we're going to see a failed hammer coming. Monday should be pretty ugly, I think, over here. Looking for a sell-off back down underneath the lows and eventually breaking this thing over here. Okay. Yeah, so a 240 chart, and we bounce off the bottom. You can see that. We rally back, and we create a lower high. Okay, then we had a little V-bottom situation off some fresh demand under here. And then you could see over here, we took out the level of demand that was here, and then we rallied back up. These little news event wicks over here couldn't break the high, and now we start rolling over again. We're just going to create a lower high and make new lows again. So if you're short, stay short. There it is. There's the lower high. Okay, you can see what happened over here on our Canadian chart, little V-bottom situation. Comes back to the level that we broke away from over here. Sells off, comes back to the demand, rallies, confirms the top, starts turning over. It looks like death to me. Okay, this should be breaking down, and we should be looking under here. That puts our target in play. So, short Canadian, okay? So for now, if you're in this trade, your stop can go above whatever, so it's 76 and change. That should be your stop up here. Cool. Let's go look at the yen. Okay, so the yen puts a little doji on the weekly chart over here, peaking above the 200 moving average and then closing below. Right? Gives a little. You can see after the strong twins, a little pause. So the question becomes, okay, well, is this going to be another lower high? Are we stick to break the bottom, or is this going to be a rally-based rally back this way? We, no way to know from this chart what's going on over here just yet. Okay. Let's see if we can figure it out. What's the daily showing us? Well, there's our rally up. And there's what caused the doji, a little sell-off, and then the back test over here. So this level right here, 88530, has to hold for us to do this. That's what we know so far. Okay, because if it breaks down, then we're going to have a lower high again, and we should expect lower lows. So at least we know the line in the sand. Line of sand over here. As long as we hold above there, we can consider that this should be rallying. It's trying to push back and hit daily supply and starts rallying again. We can see the 50 moving average of the daily chart is what's holding price up over here from rallying so far. Good. Okay, we know where the buyers are going to defend. And if they give that level up, it makes sense. By the way, look over here. Right? Then we know that it should be breaking down. Fine. So we can be long as we're above there. And we'll be short if it goes under there. Okay, let's keep going. So, well, okay. Here's our 240 chart. There's the demand zone. Gets hit. And then it starts flagging out. And it's working its way through supply. Now we know what's going on here, right? It's trying to break this zone. Create a higher low over here. That's what it's trying to do so far. It already has one higher low back over here. It has some demand over here, which is working so far to stop this sell-off from the supply zone. And now the question will be, okay, can they get it to keep going? Because if they break this zone over here and they get it back up here, we're going through this, and then we're back to 9,000 again. So, okay, right now it looks like it's a battle. I don't want to be in the middle of the battle. Let them kill each other, and when they decide who the winner is, I'll join the winning team. Okay. I'm a fair weather friend. Okay. Stop. Okay. Why are you, what the hell are you scrolling for? Who's scrolling? I'm not, it's like phantom scrolling. Why am I okay, well, let's close the chart maybe then, because it doesn't want to let me stop scrolling. I don't know what the hell is scrolling over here. Ah, I think the mouse battery is dying. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to shut the mouse off and use it. Yeah, it's my mouse battery. Okay, fine. Gotta go change the battery in my mouse. Anyway, so you can see that we're flagging over there, right? Let's go take a look at the lower time frames and let them battle each other to death over here, right? Supply gets hit right there, and there's some demand over here in this neighborhood. There's demand over here, cause this, and you can see that if we're able to hold this, and there's still air, right? And that will give us this direction. So we don't really know which way it is going yet. So for me, that means I'm out. I'm not trading this until I know where it wants to go. So we'll hang out over here and watch the CN until it decides which way to break, and then we'll talk about it again. Okay, moving on. Okay, we're up to Natty, which has been a beast lately. I mean, right, for weeks and weeks and weeks, it was dead, asleep, wouldn't move. All of a sudden, boom, and then we got long time, and we get a red candle on the chart. And after so long at the beginning of the gap over here, back with the lower high over here. That means that you're more from the future. This week, we're looking down on that. What happens when we get back? Now, hold here. Okay. Computer was frozen for some reason. Let's give it a second, see if it wakes up. Alright, looks like I'm going to have to do a little pause here. Give me a sec. Be back with you in a minute. Okay, let's go back in business. So as I was saying, I'm looking at lower height form over here. Let's look at the 240 chart there. See this where we need lower higher time frame first, so we break down, we hit the band, we rally back to the supply zone, puts on the twin reverse with lower high, we're breaking down, right back maybe even under 4. I think the gap on the daily chart closes somewhere over here around 3 and change. That would be the target for now. So really wild swings in that gas, weird candles, tough to trade. You have to be really selective and hope they're coming to get you. And I want to get there. It holds you. But if you can get in, there's a 300 point plus. Yeah, it looks like 3.8 is the gap on the daily chart right over here. And that would be the target. 3.788 closes the gap for us. And that's where I'd be looking for, a target way down now. So let's take a look on the, so this offered a decent shot over here. It looks like, depending on how you traded this level over here on the 60. It was a drop-based drop. because he made the lower. So this underneath us is not going to hold anymore, and then we start shooting down. So short from that gas. Next target 3.788. Fill the gap. There's a decent short over there. That looks like about 23, 24 points on the 15 chart. Not so bad. If you put your zone, your order somewhere in there, and put your stop above. Otherwise, the level up here looks okay also. 01 to 48. It's a little bit bigger, but also a nice drop, base drop. And again, if you trade towards the top of the zone, you put your order above the stop above there. It's something that would make sense. Okay, so shorts on that gas. Nice. Let's go see what happened with copper. All right, so copper has been flagging around in the weekly chart for a whole bunch of weeks now. After last week's beautiful pair of strong twins and then the beginning of the pop into the zone, all we get at the end of the day is a doji. So if it's going to rally, it needs to hold the lows that it's created over here and start to break this zone. So let's see if we can figure out if it wants to do that or not. We can see up here on the daily chart, we have a higher low. We came back and pierced little flag area, and then we just get a little rejection. We're holding the 50 average. It looks like that's the magic number for now. As long as we're above the 50 average, we have an opportunity to rally out of this thing. I'm not liking the way that the 240 looks. It looks like we gapped up over here, and then we just sold it all off and left all kinds of air over here. So it doesn't look like it's the time to join the longs. Down here, maybe, if it pulls back a little bit and gives us a decent long, in this demand zone, we might consider that. But for now, I don't like the location of where the prices could. Yeah, look at the 60. So we're in dead center between the supply and demand, and we're just chopping around in the middle. This is not where I trade at all. I'm not interested over here. We have to wait and see which way this wants to break. There's garbage over here. So let's move on. I'm wasting time with copper this week. Okay, so we're still waiting on soy to make that massive explosive move. It's looking like it's still holding itself up. It's the third week over here without pulling back really and, back underneath here. So that's nice and strong. We're working our way through the supply zone. You can see it over here on the daily. We keep popping it, coming back, popping it, coming back. So nice flag on the 240. This is a bull flag. We should be breaking up out of this thing eventually. See if we can figure out a place that would make sense. We tried last week, got some T1s off a couple of times, and then it stopped us out. So still not in the long swing just yet. And looking again for a chance to see if it wants to hold for us. There's an uptrend coming up to 60 again, so that's nice. All right, there's our pivots, higher low, higher high, trend is up. We can buy the pullback into demand over here. So see how that plays out. If we can find a level that makes sense to join the longs again. So there isn't really much available to us right now. We'll have to wait and see what happens on Monday, but trend is up. We've hit supply over here, so any higher low that we form in the location of where we are would give us an opportunity for some kind of longs. So we'll have to wait for a chance on Monday. Stay tuned. We want to look for a long revision on the chart here. Next. Looking at the bonds this week, we can see that we had a little bit of a pause, right, after a nice strong rally up. We hit our target on the long side, and we're in the weekly supply zone, and we get a little doji. Okay? So trend is down still, the weekly chart. We should see some kind of higher low, right? We had a little double bottom situation, which we've retraced back. If it can create a base over here and then shoot out through here, we have a chance to go all the way back to 46 over here. Right? But this is the zone that needs to break, which we have to figure out if that's going to happen or not. Well, we come up to some of the other time frames, we see there's our supply. And this is all one move. There's our little double bottom situation. It looks like it's played out. There should be a back test. If we get a back test that'll hold somewhere around 138 and change, which looks like this zone, right, over here on the 240 chart, that would give us long, potentially, to ride all the way up to here. Okay, so there's a back test coming for bonds. The trend actually is down. Even on the daily chart, it's a double bottom. The trend was still down. So let's go put this demand zone over here where it comes out on the daily chart, like around 137, 38 and change. Yeah, right there. Okay, demand. And I would say down over here, potentially longs, which means we could be short going down into that zone. Okay. Yeah, well, we hit the supply zone. That's the higher time frame zone. It's just showing up on the 60 over there. We started selling off. First level of demand, I'd like to see that, produce a lower high. I can't get short over here yet. The 60 is still on an uptrend, which means we would potentially even buy this zone and see if we break up here, right? Because that's the trend trade. So for now, there's no trade until we get, down over here, or, we create a new higher low, and we'll talk about that. For now, bonds looking to me like we have an opportunity to get a pullback going. So if I wanted the short, I'd have to wait at least for a lower high on the 60, which I don't have yet. I do actually. It looks like I have it on some of the smaller time frames. The 15 looks like it tested the first level of demand, produced this little lower high. So if we get a bounce over here to another lower high, then we could, we could talk. For now, I don't see a trade. You can see here we touched the demand on the 15 right here. We just paused and we closed out. So no trade yet for the bonds. Leaning short into 138 and change. That's what we're looking for. And then we'll figure out what happens once we get there. Okay. And last but not least, for the benefit of my YM traders, took a quick look at what that's looking like. Cleanse, failed hammer, massive sell-off, pointing that this level is history, it's toast, no question about that. So where is it going? We're looking like another low coming out over here on the daily chart, and the fibs are pointing to, oh boy, 23.5, or at least looks like even under 23.4. So there's the push down. We're going to take this pivot out. We're going to take this out. There's air. It looks like down into 23,000. So we're going to get close to 23,000. That is, oh boy, looks like 1,000 points from where we are. Now it's looking like crap. Boy, oh boy. Okay, well, that's what the chart's saying for now. Let's go take a look at some of the small time frames, see if there's any sign of life. So this demands are just busted. Forget about that. Okay, there's no supply. Here on the 240, let's put that on the chart. Don't be long anymore. Okay, breaking down over here. And on the lower time frames, we're looking at, all the charts look the same. Clearly downtrend, no question about it. Look at the 50 average. There's a really nice supply zone of 24.7 and change. I don't think we're going to see it. We'll probably test some of the smaller time frame supplies and potentially a chance to join the shorts. So here we go. Yeah, that looks really nice. If we hit this zone, pre-market or something like that, there's a really nice set for get short inside this area. And that's about the only thing that really interests me, to be honest with you. All this is a bunch of crap, and we're just drifting down through the air. The target's 23, 4, let's call it. Okay, short on YM. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the week. If you haven't had a chance yet and you'd like to join the live trading session, it's going to start next week on Monday. It's going to run for the first 3 weeks of December, from Monday through Friday from 9 to 12 Eastern Time. Something to think about. There's only like 2 or 3 spots I think left. If anybody would like to join, I will put the link in the email that comes with this recording, and you can just sign yourself up. The cost is $599 for 3 weeks. And other than that, we will have a webinar this Wednesday. Is it a trading session? I don't remember. I'll check. I think actually it might be. I'm not sure. Otherwise, happy and healthy. All the best. I hope you enjoyed the Thanksgiving weekend. And I will be in touch with you guys during the week. All the best.